Hi, welcome back to I Confess with Travis. I'm your host, Travis Bartlett. And today I'm going to talk to a person who was actually in training for the Marines. And let's just say this is going to be the most crazy, insane story you're ever going to hear. So let's go ahead and take my first call. All right, so how you doing?
I'm doing good.
So I hear you got a story you want to tell.
Yep. Well, back in 2020, my dad passed away from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up living with my mom. Got depressed as fuck. I did stupid shit because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I finally got my shit together, so I don't want to join the military.
Hmm.
My goal, my entire life, was to join the Navy, but two of my friends don't join the Marine Corps.
Oh.
So they were like, "Hey, fuck the Navy, join us."
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "All right." So I go through the whole process with MEPS and shit like that. Get my medical done. They touch my fucking balls and shit. Looking up a whole, typical shit.
Right.
They're like, all right, you're going on April fucking 24th. So I go, right? And, I get there. I do the first week of processing. And then they have this test, physical test called the IST.
Mm-hmm.
I failed the fuck out of that test because I was not up to the physical standards yet.
Oh.
I should have been. But I was fat as fuck back then. I was like 190, almost 200.
Oh, wow.
So they sent me to this group called PCP, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there, you have so much off time. It's not even funny. You just read books and watch movies and shit.
Right.
Well, people have been there for a while, so they do really stupid shit to pass time and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So these motherfuckers decide they're gonna make fucking moonshine in a fucking urinal.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. So they make fucking moonshine in the urinal. They're like fucking drinking it out of the fucking urinal and shit. I was like,
what is this, prison?
exactly. It felt like prison.
Right.
Where we get phone calls every fucking weekend. That's it. And all we do is eat and fucking run sometimes. I read all of Percy Jackson in a fucking week. That's how much free time we had.
Oh, wow.
So they make fucking moonshine in there.
See.
And I don't know if it was because of the moonshine or because fucking San Diego has shitty fucking plumbing, but one of the fucking urinals exploded. And they fucking blocked that shit off.
Like, what were they cooking in there? Like meth or something? Like the way it was exploding? Or did someone just set it on fire?
They fucked that shit up.
Oh.
And this story does not end with me becoming a Marine, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But so I do my time there. I end up passing the IST. I used to be able to do fucking 0 pull-ups, and then I came out of there doing 6.
Oh, wow.
Which, for 3 weeks being in there, pretty fucking big improvement.
So they were just trying to get you guys fit so you can join, like, Marine, military, or whatever.
Yeah.
So you don't look like, really big,
Yeah.
I get you.
So I finally get up to my running standard and my pull-up standards. So they sent me to the fucking training company. I'm with Golf Company, which is, pretty fucking chill company. And, I'm doing training. And then one day, all the drill instructors, except for the kill hat, done fucking got sent to what they said was rifle qualification. Everyone knew that shit was bullshit.
Right.
It's because they were just investigated for abuse.
Right.
So we get new drill instructors. And there's this Vietnamese guy in our platoon who doesn't really know much English. So much so that he didn't know what the word for wall was. But while you're becoming a Marine, you have to completely change your vocabulary.
Right.
So the wall is the bulkhead, the floor is the deck, the bathroom is the head.
Right.
So he thought that those words were actually those words. Like, that's how little English you know.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the those new drill instructors gave us all gave some people new nicknames and shit. One of the recruits' name was Kodak Black, was his nickname.
Mm-hmm.
And we're marching one day, and they tell this guy who's Vietnamese, who doesn't know much English, Kodak Black is going to stuff you into a war bag, which is basically a duffel bag.
Right.
It's going to feed you chow, which is food.
Right. See, where I call it, where I'm from in the hood, we used to call it a body bag.
Yeah.
That's what we called it.
And this guy doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they keep on telling him he's going to feed you chow, he's going to touch you inappropriately and shit like that. And they're like, do you understand what I'm saying? He's like, yes, sir. He's like, you know who Kodak Black is? No, sir. You know what a war bag is? No, sir. You know what chow is? Maybe, sir.
So it's like, he doesn't know what any of this stuff means in English,
Yeah. So, and everybody is trying not to fucking laugh. Because the drill instructors just keep on saying this shit over and over again, coming up with random bullshit to say.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense to even us, but he's
Right.
pretending like he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we're trying not to fucking laugh and shit. That's just another one of the stories. Another time, a snake got into the platoon while we were doing weapons watch.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's fucking scared of the snake. It's a rattlesnake or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I put on one of the leather gloves that they give us. I fucking grab that motherfucker and start chasing around recruits with it.
I'm not really big on snakes. I mean, they're okay to me, but I just don't think I want them as a pet. But I mean, I'm not saying I'm scared. It's just I have my doubts about certain pets. Like, I can handle, let's say, a hamster, maybe. But like, let's say if it's a wild animal, like let's say a tiger, like, and I mean, I'm not trying to make this sound stupid, but like, I know exactly how to calm them down. If they was to get mad at you, like, you just gotta learn to calm them down. Kind of like let's say when you have a baby and they're crying, but you don't know what they're crying about, and you're trying to calm them down. Kind of like that.
Yep. Well, it's a rattlesnake. They're venomous. If you get bit by that, you're kind of fucked.
See, I remember, like,
they got venom and shit, and you probably could survive from a rattlesnake bite even if you didn't get venom.
See, I remember years ago, because when it gets extremely hot during the summertime, like, I remember we would have snakes, not like a million of them, but there'll be like maybe one or two outside in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I remember we used to have a couple that would get by our garage where our trash can sits, and they would just hide under the trash can, and my stepdad would just grab it and then just like take it out into the woods somewhere or kill it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get into, I have so many stories while I was in training, but I'm gonna get into when I got kicked out. So I sucked at fucking drill and the physical standards. Even though I got to the bare minimum physical standards, I still struggled with it. Obviously. By this point, I was around 160.
Oh, wow.
Right now, I'm 150 because I'm still losing weight because I'm, not being stupid as fuck. Eating trash food.
Right.
So now I look decent. I'm not fat as hell. So, I'm getting kicked out because I suck at drill and they put me on, they put me on trial training because I wore underwear, and you're not allowed to wear underwear in boot camp.
Right. Wait, what?
Yeah, you can't wear underwear.
Why? Like not even to sleep in or anything?
So basically, you have to wear glorified swimming trunks, is what they basically are. They have like the netting inside of them, but they look like shorts. So you got to wear that instead. And I asked the senior drill instructor twice if we were allowed to wear the underwear. He's like, "Yep." And then one day, one of the other drill instructors like, "What the fuck are you wearing those?" I'm like, "Senior drill instructor told me I could wear this, sir." But you're not supposed to say.
Right.
You're supposed to say this recruit. So I said, "This recruit heard the senior drill instructor say you could wear it," or some shit like that. So he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna call him and ask him." Senior drill instructor had changed his mind somehow. Cause I asked him twice if I could wear it, and all the recruits were there to hear it. But he's like, "Nope, I didn't say that shit."
So it's like he just basically lied and said that you could, but then you couldn't. Wow. So it's like he was wanting to get you in trouble, basically.
I don't know, to be honest. He didn't hate me or anything. He didn't even dislike me. I just existed, But this was during swim week. So we were doing swimming qualifications and shit. So the next week after that, I got put on trial training, which was during I think we were doing team week, which is where instead of making us all hate each other, we have to work together and like
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of like a break week. We still have to do PT and shit, but we're learning a little bit less, and we're going out and
Right.
run the base.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on trial training during this, and then one of the days during not trial training during team week,
Mm-hmm.
you have to put up fortifications inside of the house, which is the squad bay where everybody else is at, where everybody sleeps. And the drill instructors are going to come in there, and you have to like stop them with rubber rifles and shit, and be like, "Oh, the fuck are you doing here? Show me your identification."
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the drill instructors will use a flashlight and say you're dead.
Oh.
But
Like those fake guns, like fake rubber guns. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
So I was sick during this, so they didn't let me fucking help with the fortifications, even though I had fucking great ideas for like a little wall that you could sit behind with a gun and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I built one of those, and the drill instructor's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get back in the bed." Because I was sick. I was on sick SIQ, sick in quarters, because I was constipated and I threw up because of it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really get a lot of fiber in your food there, so they fucked me over. So I had to sit in the fucking squad bay the entire day, and we were supposed to do a march.
Oh.
A march, a hike. So we were Kevin fucking our backpacks with the ammo can in there.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew that I didn't like those, so they thought I was faking it when I threw the fuck up. Not when I threw up, but before I was like, "Hey, this group's sick. You threw up."
Right.
And then I fucking projectile vomited again. They're like, "All right, you fucking are sick. Go to medical." And then I got placed on SIQ. I wanted to have some fun with that because I didn't get to participate that day. I still want to have fun with it.
Right.
And they also have like gunshots and screaming playing in the background. It's loud as fuck. Everybody's screaming and getting dragged all over the floor.
Oh my god.
So I get up to go to the bathroom 3 total times so that I would get killed by a drill instructor.
Oh wow.
So he takes the fucking crutch, pokes me in the back, like, "You're dead." I'm like, "Aye, sir." I fucking get on the floor. I scream loud as fuck. Because everybody wasn't screaming loud enough. Like, type shit.
Kind of like acting to where you can get to the real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was screaming loud as fuck. I was like, everyone's screaming and on the floor and shit, and they're supposed to be getting dragged to the bulkhead and getting like basic first aid on them. But they weren't doing that because those motherfuckers weren't screaming loud enough, so they didn't know that those people were sick. They fucking knew I was.
Mm-hmm.
So I get dragged back and they do that shit, and I just go to bed. I slept like a baby that fucking night, even though there was loud sounds playing, everyone was screaming and shit. Anyways, they wake us up early and we have to put all the shit away.
So they had you guys clean up?
Yeah. Because, there's old beds that we weren't really using all over the ground and shit, and we had like ammo cans stacked up.
Oh wow.
But we were supposed to build fortifications, so we built some fucking fortifications. So then later that week I was, getting separated. It took fucking 3 days for them to file my paperwork to get separated.
Oh wow.
Bullshit. So I was sitting out in the sun all day, eating MREs. And then I wasn't able to participate with everybody else. I had to go back and sleep in the fucking squad bay with everybody who didn't like me because, I sucked at drill. And then the drill hat, whenever he had the floor, he'd fuck me up. He fucked everybody up if you were getting fucked up. So,
oh wow.
If you're getting punished, everybody else is getting punished.
Right.
So they don't like me because of it. Understandable.
Yeah. See, I tried to join the military one time, but this was like a couple years ago. See, what happened was, when I was getting interviewed, I started talking about, some stuff. They asked me, I said if I, because I told, they asked me if I was on any medication or whatever, and I said, yeah, because I have to see like my doctor every 3 months, my psychologist, and I have to tell him about my crazy psychological problems and stuff. And they said, well, we can't really accept you because you have to go to doctors, dentists, and then you have to take pills. Like they said, they will not accept any of that. I mean, I thought it was just gonna be okay. I mean, I thought maybe if you just give them a slip and say, hey, like these are my prescriptions, this is what I have to take, you know. But no, they wouldn't accept me. So I posted a story about it, and I've got like a few comments, and they were like, well, just bring the drugs. It's not like they're gonna look in the bags. Or I mean, then I've had a lot of people like the law enforcement, they were wanting me to join. They said, well, we don't care what drugs you're on, we still want you to come. And I'm like, I'm not gonna join no damn law force. Because see, where I grew up like in the hood with criminals and, you know, drugs, alcohol, sex activities, whatever. That's the stuff I grew up in.
Yeah.
It's just I don't want like to join the police and then they're gonna say like, oh well, what did you do when you were like a teenager? It's like I don't even know what I'm gonna say, because they'll say if I spill something, like spill the truth about me, they're gonna think I know everybody and then they're gonna try to arrest them. That's what I don't want to do. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to the police, but I just don't want to work for the police, you know.
Yeah. I grew up in one of the cities where Cops was in that show.
Mm.
It was pretty fucked there. So I understand how it is.
Yeah.
They finally get my paperwork separated, and I'm going to RSP, which is Recruit Separation Platoon.
Mm-hmm.
And the inside joke there is it's Recruit State Penitentiary.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like fucking prison.
Right.
It was way worse than PCP because we weren't allowed to fucking run. All we did was sit in the squad bay all day and clean sometimes.
Oh, okay.
And watch movies, and that's it. We didn't even have books. What we did, there were fucking dictionaries and Bibles.
Oh.
That's all we had.
What fun.
Yeah, actually, when you go to boot camp, if you weren't super religious before, you're going to become real religious in boot camp.
Right.
Like, I had my Christian reawakening there. I mean, I still believed in God before then, but like, now it's like even more, like I'm more, you know, in tune with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to church every single Sunday. It was pretty fun. Like we sang and shit. Like they were terrible songs, but everybody was singing like Linkin Arms and shit. But we're an RSP. So much stupid bullshit happened in the shitty place.
That's everywhere.
Yeah. So, one of the times we had recruits in there putting shirts over their face to look like either terrorists or like shit. They were like running around doing like monkey shit in the middle of the night, like grabbing people in their bunks from while they're trying to fucking sleep.
Like just scaring them.
Yeah. And it ended when one of the guys who was already supposed to be a Marine, who he was getting removed because he allegedly killed somebody before he joined boot camp, and was being tried before he joined. I don't know how the fuck he got in, but you know, he fucking punched him in the face because he was dead asleep, and then they fucking chick him in his rack. He fucking punches his hand straight off, fucking knocks him out.
Wow.
Drill instructors didn't ever know about that. Well, they were drill instructors, but they weren't being drill instructors.
Right.
Like you didn't even have to say this recruit anymore. You could just talk to them normally.
Right.
Which it took me a while to get back to talking to them normally.
Right.
And then another time, the same dudes who were doing that fucking snuck out of the squad bay, which they weren't fucking supposed to do. And they went to the vending machines. They bought themselves fucking Monster, and they were selling it. See, I had been in boot camp for 3 months at this point. I haven't had any caffeine in my system. I bought a Monster for $20.
Good lord.
It was worth it. Because that same day, we do something called working parties where we can go out and help around the base and shit, just like in Team Link. So we're like, it'll be like receiving companies coming in, so we put pillows on their shit and whatnot, and get their war bags ready for their their gear.
Hmm.
And then also, you can sign up so that in the dead of fucking night, you're there giving them their gear when they first get there. Because I think it's from 8 to 2 in the morning when you get there to boot camp in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fucking the middle of the night. I decided to do this because it'd be fun as fuck. Because I remember when I was there, they told us that the people in RSP were actually, I think it was something Marine. I think it started with a B. Brigade Marines or some shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. They lied out of their asses because they were RSP recruits. They told them, you will say, sir, you will listen to them when they tell you to do something. And I wanted that power trip. I wanted it. I wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do it. They tell them that we were recruits. Not that we were being separated, but we were recruits. And they told them the same stuff though, like sound off and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Those motherfuckers, they forgot real quick that we were recruits and shit. They thought we were Marines because they're stupid. They just got there. They don't know shit. They're scared because they just got off a bus and they're being screamed at randomly.
Wow.
They have to look at the walls instead of looking straight and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was the sock guy, so I was like, "Here's your fucking socks, dumbass."
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes sir. Or like, what the fuck? Don't say yes sir when I give you the socks. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I call him fucking dumbass. But we were only allowed to be rude to them after 12, because that's when the commanders left.
Mm-hmm.
Like your second lieutenant, first lieutenant. I think there was a general, not general, fucking captain there, stuff like that. I don't know what the rank, what ranks were there. I was paying attention, so it didn't matter to me. I didn't have to worry about it. But we'd still get in trouble for that shit. They're like, hey, after 12, they're gonna leave, so you can be as rude as you want.
Right.
Like we're sitting there, like we're making fun of how they look. Like we were like, oh, that motherfucker, he's ugly as hell. He got a fucking bullet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the fuck he got past getting his head shaved. Because there was a group of a couple of them that didn't get their head shaved yet.
Mm.
And for some reason, everybody else already had their head shaved though. We were making fun of his fucking hair. Some dude looked like a fucking Daffy Duck. We were making fun of the clothes they were wearing and shit. Dude pulled up in pajamas too. Anyways, like we give them their desert pants or desert trousers. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get in receiving, and then you go to uniforms after that and shit. So
Right.
and we also give them their shirts. And then they have to strip down and fucking put that shit on.
Like so right in front of them?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Everybody in the same room has to do it at the same time. We're sitting there making fun of their fucking underwear and shit. Look at that guy. He looks like he's wearing fucking panties. Because he was wearing like whitey tighties or some shit.
Right.
Like we're laying and like giving him a whole bunch of shit.
Right.
And they're not supposed to look at us. They're supposed to look at the wall. So like when they looked at us, they're like, stop looking at me. And they're like, yes sir.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of them was like, I need this size. I'm like, no, you don't say I. You say this recruit. They didn't learn that yet, but I still want to fuck with them with that. Because it's important that you know that. That's how we're supposed to talk about for that shit.
So it's like if you was to say like, oh, well, like that you need, let's say, size 34, you would say, I want 34. Instead of just saying like, I think my size is,
Yeah, if they said think, like you think?
Like,
how fucking what size you are?
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked them their shoe size. I think my shoe size is 8. No, it's 10. How the fuck do you not know your shoe size, dumbass?
Like, look at your shoe. Like, take off your shoe and it should say right in them.
No, you're not supposed to. You can't, like, do things. You have to go through the line quick as fuck.
Oh.
But if you don't know what your shoe size is off the top of your fucking head, you gotta be fucking...
Right.
But, they're tired as fuck. They just got off, like, a plane and shit.
I bet.
They're supposed to... They're gonna be Marines and shit. You gotta learn that discipline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, those rides, when it takes, like, cars and planes, they will knock you out.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get to sleep on my fucking 5.5 hour flight. So I never flew before.
I haven't either.
Yeah, it scared the fuck out of me when we were taking off and shit. And you know, we get done with that day, and then somehow $500 goes missing from one of the recruits in receiving. So RSP got blamed somehow.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go into the fucking squad base for any reason.
Right.
We got blamed somehow. I think they found the money before they even searched us, but they decided, fuck all of you. Get outside, go to the fucking one room. I forgot what the room was.
Mm-hmm.
They searched all of our shit. So like they're looking through our wallets and fucking we have money bags.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a little fucking zip like pull bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little tiny thing. Like you keep your wallet and your personal effects in there and your little tiny Bible that you can bring. You end up getting one of these. It's just a whole holy Bible. It says Operation Worship, and I
Mm-hmm.
when you go to church, they'll give you those. But you can have little. No, it's a New Testament one. It's a little tiny thing. And if you bring like a notepad with like names and addresses on there, then you keep that in there too. So we had two choices that we could do. We could either go out and do clothing, which is giving the recruits clothing, like I just talked about, or you can do contraband. So like if someone brings something they're not supposed to, it gets thrown on the fucking floor. Like the drill sergeants don't care what it is; it just goes on the floor. On that list, it includes vapes, pens, notebooks, shit like that. I mean, you can keep like a little tiny notebook with like if you bring a whole fucking notebook, you're not fucking keeping that shit.
Right.
So the next time we do this, I wanted to do that, but they had too many recruits doing contraband, so they put me into clothing for the second time. And you know, no vapes, so it's boring. But we were like making fun of the people coming in who hadn't got their haircuts done and shit. But back to the getting searched thing. We weren't supposed to have cookies or anything. Get them at Chow Hall and shit, but you're not supposed to have them. We were getting searched after they searched our wallets and our shit in that one room. Each recruit gets called back individually to open up their Foot Locker, and your shit gets searched. They dump all of your fucking shit on the floor.
Wow.
That sucked ass. Because we had to repack all our shit. I had my shit packed and ready to go home and shit. The stuff that I was going to keep.
Did they also like do a strip search on you all or something?
No, they didn't find shit.
Oh, okay. So they only just did the bags.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They searched everything you had, really, but nothing got found. And there was a cookie on the floor. It just happened to be on the floor, and when I dumped my shit out. Like, is this yours? Is this cookie yours? I'm like, no, it's not fucking mine. They're like, all right. They fucking kicked it to the side. We go back there to put our shit back. All the contraband that we had, they just left it. They didn't give a fuck.
Wow.
So after that, we realized, hey, they don't give a fuck about us having a contraband. So we had a lot of contraband after that. I had contraband too. I had so many fucking like granola bars and cookies and shit. Our war bag full of that shit because we. So receiving company gets their meals in bags, and it's all laid out outside, right in front of where we sleep, because RSP is right next to where the receiving company is. All of that food, there's like almost half that food left when everybody gets their food. Even though there's like almost 2,000 people coming in, there's like 60 people in each one. There's like 8 squads. It's about 1,000 to 2,000, something like that. I'm a terrible at math. So they leave all that food out there all night, and it gets cleaned up by RSP in the morning. But it's just food sitting there. They got cookies and granola bars and shit and food. Motherfuckers are hungry. So the drill instructors they knew about us doing this shit. So we'd go out there, fucking like grab food, and start eating and shit. Like this one time, they had the dinner out there instead of the bags, so it was like a, you know, those when you go to a restaurant they give you the takeout stuff. Finish your food. It was kind of like that. And there's like not hour old, 5 hour old like chicken and rice out there. Let me tell you, it gets cold in California. That cold white rice in there, that shit was fire. We're eating like pieces of bread and chicken and shit. We're just like opening it up, eating it, and fucking closing it and shit. They didn't give a fuck. The drill instructors were like, yeah, you can go do that. I don't give a fuck. Like, especially the people who were leaving, got away with shit. So, you know, we're doing that shit. Like, we're grabbing bags out through the windows and shit, fucking filling up war bags full of these and shit. And we're having a great old fucking time. It was actually pretty fun. But another time. So the majority of people who are getting separated and going home after instead of becoming a Marine, something called SI, which is suicidal ideation. Basically, they were going to kill themselves. Majority of people are lying so they can go home because they don't want to do it. Some people aren't. The people who aren't, like in my friend group, the majority of people who were SI in my friend group, they were active SI. And the motherfuckers who fake SI'd, we didn't like those people. They pissed us off because they just lied to get out of boot camp because they're bitches. Not because they were legitimately going through mental issues, but because they were fucking doing stupid shit.
Yeah. See, I've heard people where, like, especially when it comes to jobs, people will, like, come and go. Like, they just say things like, oh, well, I don't like this job, and then they're going to find another job. You know, it's...
Yeah. It's just like that. Anyways, there's also something, I forget if there was, like, a abbreviation for it, but it's people who had a homicidal. Those motherfuckers got black tape. So if you were an SI, you got white tape and you got your laces removed. If you were homicidal, you got your shoelaces removed and you got black tape. I saw a motherfucker with black tape once. It was before RSP. When I was in RSP, we didn't have anybody there except for the one guy who was already a Marine, but he was outside of boot camp. He allegedly killed somebody. He didn't get black tape though.
Okay. Now, what was the black tape for? Like,
it's so you can tell like what you're there for.
Oh, okay.
So like you can look at somebody's shoes and be like, oh yeah, you're here because you were going to kill somebody.
Right. Oh, okay. Kind of like a murderer or a terrorist or something. Okay, I gotcha.
So, you know, I saw one of those motherfuckers. I was in medical at the time, and I saw him. He had black tape. I was like, fuck, that guy was killing somebody. I was going to. Wait, no, the black tape wasn't because you were saying you were going to kill somebody. Black tape was because you did kill somebody. My bad.
Right.
Or you almost killed somebody. And then if you were saying you were going to kill somebody, you just go.
Okay.
I mixed it up. My bad. But I saw this dude with black tape. I was like, damn, what the fuck did you do? This was before I knew what it was. So I asked the drill instructor, sir, this recruit knows that if you have white tape on your shoes, it means you're going to commit suicide. What the fuck does it mean if you have black tape? He's like, I mean, I'm going to kill somebody.
Right.
And, well, one of my friends is in the Marine. I asked him to. Just in case the drill instructor was fucking with me. And he was like, no, that's actually what that shit is for. So, yeah, that shit was fucked up. I was like, what the fuck do you have black tape on your shoes for?
Exactly.
I didn't ask the kid because I was like, maybe this motherfucker like almost committed suicide or some shit. I thought it was someone with white tape. I didn't want to like hurt him or anything.
Now, what's the white tape mean?
White tape was if you're going to kill yourself.
Oh, like suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that shit sucked. You know, a lot of people in there were sad as fuck. And there's PCP, which was the one I was talking about when I first went to boot camp. And that same thing, there's MRP, which is Medical Recovery Platoon. People are in there for months and sometimes years. And sometimes those people get sent to RSP. I knew somebody who was in PCP, got sent back to MRP, and then now he's in RSP. So we were already friends. I was asking him, like, what the fuck goes on in MRP? Because you know, I mean, now the jig's up, right? Nobody gives a fuck. They had this saying, "What happens in MRP stays in MRP."
Right.
We just had like bits and pieces of what happened there, like motherfuckers jacking off in the showers and shit, in their racks and shit. Like he tells me a whole bunch of random stories about people like getting raped and shit.
Oh, I've heard stuff like that. It's kind of like in prison, like when you drop the soap, you're gonna get raped.
Yep. And the main thing that would happen in MRP was they would take Axe bottles, wrap a towel around it, and huff it.
Oh, just so they can get high.
Yep. And we had to doing that in RSP. That pissed me the fuck off. Because I was still in the mindset like we're here to become a fucking soldier. You're gonna go. You came here because you were willing to sign up and go to war.
Right.
And you were gonna fight for this country. And your dumbass is in here getting separated doing fucking drugs.
Right.
What the fuck is wrong with you? You stupid ass motherfucker. I'm like, you're stupid as fuck. You have no fucking discipline. There was a fucking reason why you got separated. He was coming from. He didn't go to RSP, MRP. He wasn't like a medical thing. He was fucking doing the shit. I told him he was fucking stupid as hell. Like, you're in here. You were gonna become a fucking marine, and your dumbass is in here doing drugs.
Right.
Yeah, I was mad. I was still in the mindset you still need to have discipline even if you are being removed.
Right.
Act accordingly and act like, don't act like a fucking dumbass.
Right, that is true.
Yep. And when I first got there, right, remember how I was fat? And one of my buddies that were flying in from my same state, like we were on the plane ride the entire time. We were best friends, shit. Like we're play fighting and shit. I accidentally smacked him in the face. And he's like, all right, I gotta get you back. And I was like, all right. He's like, on the chest. Fuck no. If you get hit in the chest at the wrong timing, your heart fucking stops.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
Like, you got hit in the stomach. Which, yeah, your stomach, you have a chance of having more pain. I didn't feel that shit. He paid me fucking hard too. I didn't fucking feel it. But I was fat at the time. I lost a lot of weight. And we were like bored as fuck. So I'm like, who wants to fucking hit me in the belly? And we're like, somebody was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And he comes over there, fucking hits me. I lost weight, and he knew what the fuck he was doing. He knew how to, how to box and shit. I'm like, oh shit, I can't breathe, right? It was a good shot. I wasn't a pussy, so I was like, good hit. I couldn't swallow because I couldn't breathe.
Right.
So as soon as I recovered, like, that was a good fucking hit. I dapped him up. But, we did stupid shit like that all the time. We had, like, a group in the showers. Not in the showers, in the bathroom that we would just talk in there. Because you have, like, it's just kind of like a janitor's closet.
Right. So
we would go in there and, like, talk about shit because, we didn't want to go into the movie room and talk because we weren't allowed to talk in there.
Right.
But we could. We're not supposed to talk very loud.
So it was kind of like a private conversation. So, like, you were kind of like whispering, like, you didn't want no one to hear what was going behind the door.
We didn't care about people hearing us. We just kind of wanted to keep it more private.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't really super private. Anybody was allowed to come in there and talk and shit. And there's this fat guy. He looked like Peter Griffin. Me and him were homies. Like we were like
best of friends.
He fucking knew how to sing. He was like a good fucking singer and shit. Like he had like classes and shit. And he knew like it's fucking under my wheel. Like he did orchestra and shit. He had voice training and all that. So he could hit all the fucking notes and shit. He had pitch perfect voice or some shit. He could actually sing. He could do death metal, opera, like all sorts of shit.
Oh wow.
So we just asked him to sing random songs all the time. Like he could do Michael Jackson really fucking well and shit.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And he taught some other kid how to do a death metal scream. And it was basically like a COD zombie. Like zombie, but you have to stretch it out. I couldn't do that shit. But like he was chill as fuck. And we listened to the same type of music, which is Metallica. And I had written down the entire lyrics to Metallica 1. So I was like, hey, I got the fucking lyrics to this song. So we were sitting there like singing and shit, having a good ass time. And like some fucking random dude, he's fat as hell. He's a piece of shit. And you come in and you're like, what the fuck are you singing about?
Right.
We're fucking having a good ass time, bro. Leave us alone. He's like, stop singing, it's annoying. This motherfucker was like on the other side of the fucking squad bay. Like, it wasn't fucking bothering him. And everybody's in there like depressed. We're trying to have a good ass fucking time. We don't do anything. We have movies, but those are boring after you watch the same movie 30 times in a fucking
Right.
movie. I mean, we had a wide selection of movies, but most of them were their shit. Nobody wanted to watch them. And the good ones we just watched over again.
Right.
And you know, we'd get sad. The ones who actually made it to a training company and were ready to become Marines and got separated outside of our own control. We'd get sad watching the war movies that got played all the time. Because like we were supposed to do that, but now we're fucking not. So people like me, we wouldn't go and participate when we're watching those types of movies and shit.
Right.
You know, and we're in the bathroom like talking and shit. People got really annoyed when we're singing and shit. It was kind of fucked up. We're trying to have our own good fucking time. You know, get our mind off shit. And like I said before you started the podcast thing, I do furry art.
Okay.
So one of the guys there, he was also a furry. Me and him are real friends today. Like I have his Discord and shit. We talk all the time. Stuff. He's also a furry, and like we hit off, obviously. Homies and shit. He's like, hey, show me some of your art skills. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll show you some art skills. So I start fucking drawing and shit. So, you know, I'm drawing. Other dude was like, hey, I can draw. That motherfucker could not draw. She was terrible. I was like, oh yeah, that's alright. But like, you'll get there. I'm not mean. So I was like, right. And this other guy, you'd be surprised how many gay people are in the Marines. I knew 3 during the training company and at least 5 during PCP. 2 of them I still know, which was the guy who was a furry, and then there's another guy that I know on TikTok still. By accident. Like, we didn't exchange phone numbers or anything.
So y'all just became like friends?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, you got to stick together with your own type of people. He was also an SI, but he was a legitimate SI and shit. And he was a liberal, right? I'm not. I'm a Trump supporter and shit like that. You know, despite growing up in a predominantly liberal area, I saw what was going on there and saw that some people, like, I'm not gonna say like Trump was all for like helping minorities and shit. He did a hell of a lot better than any fucking liberal, any Democrat that I've seen.
Right. And
he didn't give a fuck about politics. Like, we were still friends no matter what. We would like argue and shit and like, oh fuck you. But it was
right.
We were just fucking around. But he would take the boot bands that you use to plaster boots. It's like a rubber band with like, hooks on the end, and he like wear those as like bracelets and shit. He had like all the way up to like his mid forearm area.
I've seen people who have like so many wristbands would be like from here to all the way like to their shoulder.
Yeah,
it's so like a sleeve. It's kind of like a sleeve.
Yeah, I did that too because I was fucking bored. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. I'll do that shit too. Okay. The drill instructors didn't like that we did it, but they didn't really do anything about it. Like, what are they gonna do? Fucking
right.
Yell at us? No, they're not allowed to yell at us. Like, so when you're in training, if you piss off the drill instructor, you get IT'd, which is just push-ups, jumping protection sit. I was scared because we're in PCP. There's ice cream that you're allowed to eat when you pass the crucible and you're already a Marine and you're doing your training. In PCP, we were allowed to eat ice cream and cookies and shit. I was scared because, you know, I don't give a fuck. I was still going to eat some fucking ice cream, but I was scared that I was going to start getting weight again.
Right.
I asked the drill instructor, hey, can you IT me? He's like, fuck no. So I'm like, fuck. All right. I asked recruits around. Those motherfuckers, they didn't want to fucking IT me because they didn't know what ITing was, or they didn't fucking want to do it because they didn't know how to.
Exactly.
So I'm like, fuck. All right. So I just like run around the squad bay like we played tag and shit.
Mm-hmm.
We're fucking grown ass men, fucking like ranging from 18. I was 17 when I joined, and I turned 18 in RSP. That was fucking fun. And like we were grown ass fucking men. Like there was 30-year-olds and shit. We had
Mm-hmm.
this guy. He was the oldest guy that was there. I think he was 31. We called him Grandpa.
Oh.
Me and him, we actually were in the same training company, so we knew each other.
Hmm.
Like we talked during the swim call, the swim week and shit.
Hmm.
He was in a different platoon though. We recognized each other. We're like, oh shit, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
We call him the old man. Like people like that. Like it was mostly like 20-year-olds. We're just like fucking chasing each other, doing fucking tag and shit,
Right.
having a grand old time. That's what we did to keep in shape.
Right.
There, because we weren't allowed to go outside and run, which was stupid as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Should have let us go out and do that stuff.
Right.
But when you're on the work, when you're on I fucking said it earlier, but I forgot what it was called. Working party. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to a different entire squad bay, like in the training company area,
Mm-hmm.
and you can like help them clean out shit.
Hmm.
But if they're throwing stuff away, you can ask them like, "Hey, I'm missing a couple pair of gloves. I'm missing this black pair of gloves to turn in when I separate. Can I keep a pair?" And they're like, "All right, yeah, go ahead."
Right.
I didn't keep one pair. I kept three.
Oh, wow.
There was a couple other people missing gear.
Hmm.
But turns out only one person was missing gear. I only had three pairs of gloves. I turned in my pair of gloves. They turned in their pair of gloves. I had a spare set of gloves there.
Hmm.
I fucking brought them home. Fuck it.
Hey, free gloves. You can't beat that.
That's not the only thing I kept. So, turns out when you're turning in your stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they don't give a fuck if you don't turn in shit. So I kept a whole ass fucking tarp that I was definitely not supposed to keep. Even if you graduate Marine boot camp, you don't keep that tarp. So I kept the tarp. And we're supposed to turn in a Gore-Tex, which is it looks like the cami blouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a coat. I was going to keep that, but somebody was freaking out like, "Oh, they're gonna screw me over if I don't give this back."
Right.
It wouldn't give a fuck really, but I ended up giving it to them anyways. So I didn't have a Gore-Tex to turn in at all anyways.
Mm.
But fuck it, they didn't care. I kept my boots too. I was supposed to keep that. I kept two covers. I was gonna put them up on my wall to remind myself not to be a fucking dumbass and get myself fucked over in my life again.
Right.
As a fucking reminder, like, you fucked up here, don't fucking fuck up again.
Right.
I don't wear it, obviously, because that's disrespectful to wear military gear. I mean, I kept my boots, and I use those. I use those like when I'm working around like the yard and shit.
Oh, okay.
They're nice boots. I mean, they're uncomfortable as fuck. But if I drop like a piece of fucking metal on it, it's not gonna fuck my toe up.
Oh, so it's like steel-toed boots, basically.
They're not steel-toed, but the leather is really hard.
Oh, okay.
I should have kept more, to be honest, because I could have gotten away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I gave it all back. And you get paid back because you pay for your initial gear. When you return it, you get that money back. So I got all that money back and shit. It was like $200 or some shit.
Oh, wow.
I ended up living there with $1,400 or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought myself a computer and a car.
Mm.
And then the fursuit, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Had some spare money. Well, my car doesn't have fucking brakes. And I didn't have any fucking money left over. So I fucked up.
Right.
And it turns out when you get kicked out of the military, it's very difficult to find a job.
Right.
So, struggling to find a job now.
Right. It is hard to find jobs these days, like an actual job that you want to work at, but
Yeah. So, what sucked with being kicked out was I thought that I passed trial training.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that I was going to pass the PCP, which is like you have to do this test every single year to stay in the
Mm-hmm.
military. You have to run at least 30 minutes and 3 miles in 30 minutes at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 6 pull-ups, and like I don't think the plank really matters that much as long as it's over like 2 minutes or something.
Mm.
I passed that somehow, and I didn't think I could. It was the run that I had issue with because I couldn't run, but I passed it. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go up to Camp Pendleton, which is where the
Mm-hmm.
second phase, not second phase, but third phase of boot camp happens.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be the Crucible and shit. I was I was excited. I was gonna go there. I was like, once you go to Pendleton, there's no like you're not gonna get kicked out pretty
Right.
much, unless you're like SI or some shit.
Mm.
So I was basically set. Like, oh yeah, I'm becoming a Marine.
Mm.
Oh, you're fucked. You're going home. So after I had just gotten over my depression, joined the Marine Corps. Boom. Fuck you. You're going home after all this training.
Mm-hmm.
It literally changes how your personality is and shit too.
Mm-hmm.
New vocabulary, a new way of life.
Right.
And they don't untrain you from all the shit that you've learned.
Well, that's true.
When you are becoming a Marine and you finish the Crucible and then you're in your Marine weeks, they get you out of the recruit mindset and get you to acting more normal, like a normal person.
Right.
They still have you act like a soldier, but you don't have to say yes sir and shit like that.
Right.
They don't untrain you when you go to RSB.
It's like they're training you to be tough, but then when you, let's just say you didn't want to be in the Marine, that it's like they're trying to train you to be like a normal person, so you don't act all tough from what you've been taught, you know?
Yeah, because if you're a civilian and you see some dude acting like a recruit,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna like be fucking intimidated. Like, what the fuck is up with
Right.
that? They don't untrain you,
Mm-mm.
so you're kind of fucked. Now, obviously, you're just sitting there, and the drill instructors don't give a fuck. So, what's gonna happen is you're gonna be confused when you're not being told stuff when you get home, which is why they don't untrain you. Because when you're in the Marine Week, you have to be independent on by yourself. Like, you still have to do what drill instructors told you and shit like that.
Right.
But you have freedoms and you can do things, and you have to do things without them telling you and shit.
Right.
You have to be independent now. They don't train you that in RSP. So when I got home, I didn't know what the fuck to do. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be being told to do things and shit, but it's just not fucking happening.
Right.
So I have no fucking direction and shit. So obviously, like, my room falls into disrepair. Like, I've shit all the floor and shit.
Right. So it's like you're basically shit out of luck right now.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of that now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been months. I've been working on it. But they don't untrain you.
Right.
So you're kind of fucked. But what happens is you were going from being stimulated all the time with being told to do things and to do it. Now suddenly you're on your own and you can do what the fuck you want.
Right.
You're gonna get some pretty fucking stupid shit.
Right.
That's why a whole bunch of dumbass shit happens in RSP, like people huffing and in the bathrooms and shit. And another thing, you think when you're going to boot camp, oh, showering with men is weird. What the fuck? That's gonna be the strangest thing. After a week, you're in there making jokes, like grabbing at other people, like, "Oh, I'm gonna grab your penis." That seems so weird to people who haven't been there. But once you're there, like, you don't give a fuck anymore. You're showering, you don't have stalls. Like, you have the separators, but you don't have doors on the stalls, right?
Right.
So when you're shitting, there's a dude across from you, and instead of being like awkward and be like, "Oh fuck," like not looking at each other, you're sitting there fucking talking to each other, making jokes and shit.
Right. See, that's bad. I mean, that's not even like giving out, like, that's not even giving privacy. That's more like just exposing on what you're doing.
Yep. And what's crazy is I was 17 the entire time in boot camp, and I turned 18 in RSP. And you could imagine everyone was making jokes and shit, like, "Oh, yep, you're legal now."
Right.
Obviously, everybody just, like, it's all sexual and gay jokes.
Right.
When you're, like, in the military and shit. Like, anybody who's in the military, like, "Oh, yeah, we're making gay jokes all the time." So in RSP, it got way worse with that stuff. But then you had people who were in receiving who never went through the whole showering with other people
Mm-hmm.
like as much as everybody else did, and they're like uncomfortable when wearing like
Right.
talking and making jokes and shit.
Right.
And those people kind of like they piss you off.
See, I remember when I was like in middle school, and I remember I used to go to gym class all the time, and I hated going to gym, especially when you had to go into a locker room and had to get dressed in like with other men.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. I mean, I would say I was kind of scared, but I was also embarrassed, basically at the same time. So I was like, I'm over here trying to think like, so what do we do? Like, are we getting dressed or like, and like I'm seeing all these guys like in their underwear and they're putting on their gym clothes, and I'm like, oh my god, like they're gonna see what I'm wearing.
Yep. They do something really fun when
Mm-hmm.
you get there to get you desensitized to it real quick.
Right.
When you first get there, the first time you ever shower, which by the way, when you first get there, you don't sleep for 3 days.
Right.
You don't shower for 3 days. You're there doing stuff all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
That first time you get to shower and you're gonna go to bed, everyone's tired as fuck.
Right.
All right, everybody strip naked. You're naked in front of everybody. Those towels that they give you,
Mm-hmm.
they're like maybe 2 feet long.
Like a washcloth,
They're not gonna
basically.
cover everything.
Like a washcloth, basically.
Basically a washcloth, but you're
Wow.
bald. Like everybody's bald, so like it'll work. You're not gonna be wet afterwards, but it's a very fucking small towel. You can't cover it. Won't. No matter how fucking small your waist is, it's not gonna work. And
Wow.
everybody there's like there's big dudes there, like not fat. There's fat dudes there,
Mhm.
obviously, but they're big. Like so, either your ass cheeks are gonna be out, or like, you know,
Right.
there's no way you can hold that up around yourself.
Mm-mm.
So you're basically naked in front of everybody.
See, that would be embarrassing to me. Like, I would be afraid just to, like, get, have people watch me, changing, getting, like, watch me, get naked and stuff. Like, that would just embarrass me. Have, like, a million people, like, watching you. Like you're, like, the one that's, like, let's say the center of stage, and you got a bunch of audience are literally looking at you. That would actually embarrass me.
But what happens is we didn't piss off the drill instructor, so
Mhm.
we didn't have to do this. But I had a story from another group. They pissed off the drill instructor during this. So guess what they did? They
What?
did fucking jumping jacks.
Oh, naked?
Yup. Yep. So if you piss the drill instructor off, you're doing jumping jacks naked. And that's another way they'll desensitize you. But we didn't piss the drill instructor, so we didn't have to do all that.
I feel
Or
like
maybe the drill instructor didn't want to do that to us because like that's weird as fuck.
yeah.
And then you go into the shower room. You got people standing there spraying soap into your hand. Well, they have to spray you with antiseptic stuff
Mm-hmm.
because you just got there, and you coming from all over the country. Like let's say on the East Coast, there's like this like virus or something. Everybody there is immune, but if you're on the West Coast, you're not immune to that because it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody from all over the entire country is going to this one place. All their viruses and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's gonna get sick.
Right.
It didn't matter how much they cleaned us, by the way. Everybody got sick as fuck.
Mm.
I personally was sick the entire time I was there with upper respiratory infection. The entire time. That sucked. But they spray you down with this antiseptic. You're butt ass fucking naked because they can get all of you.
Mm-hmm.
A whole bunch of dudes. And you go in the shower room and you fucking clean yourself off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get dressed and you're fucking done. The first time they gave us 30 minutes to shower. But after receiving, you only have, they say 500, like 500, 500, they count down so fucking quick that you can't tell if it's 8 or like 3 or some shit.
Right.
They go from 10 to 1 really fucking quick.
Wow.
So you, in reality, have like a minute at most.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not naked when you're in the training company. You don't get naked and then go to the shower room. You're in a shirt and those glorified swimming trunks I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You down in a minute and a half, get in the shower room and clean yourself off and get back out and get dressed.
Wow.
So everybody fucking stank. But if you learn the key areas of stink on your body, you can hit those areas and then you're good. And so what you do is you have the bar of soap. You get your armpits, your chest, you go down to your body. That's it. And then you have to do your hair. And that's all you have time for.
Oh wow.
You gotta rinse off, get dry, and then put your clothes back on. If you were smart, you didn't fucking dry yourself off. You just threw your clothes on.
Right.
Wet. Because you don't have time for that shit. You're gonna walk out of the bathroom, fucking half your clothes on, half your clothes off, and you have to go brush your teeth.
Right.
So you have the same amount of time to brush your teeth and shave your face as you do a shower. So if you don't want to be fucking butt ass naked brushing your teeth, you don't dry yourself off.
Right.
In RSP, we got 30 minutes. Actually 30 minutes. And we did a whole bunch of stupid shit in the shower rooms. But there was only a couple of shower heads, so like it was like a rotation thing.
Right.
And we were in there fucking making jokes and shit. Hot ass showers. Like, oh, we're gonna be winners.
Right.
Nobody in there gave a fuck, except for those people who were like,
right,
who didn't go through the naked jumping jacks thing.
Right.
Or like being naked in front of everybody and going to the shower room getting straight down.
Right.
Some people didn't go through that. They got separated before they even did that. And those people would be like weird about it, and they'll go take a shower after you're supposed to go to sleep.
That would be me.
Yeah. And they're like, "Stop making jokes in here. You're being weird." Dude, you didn't go through training. You don't know how fucking weird it got.
Right.
We're gonna be as fucking weird as we want.
Right.
Because how it is.
Alright, you guys. This is actually the end of the show. If you guys want to hear part 2, it'll be on here next week on I Confess with Travis. So stay tuned for part 2. And if you guys actually want to be on the podcast, please text 478-901-4445. That's 478-901-4445. And I will talk to you guys next week.